So there is a study that dropped on December 22nd, 2025 that actually made me stop everything I was doing in my Christmas celebration. The researchers claim, and I'm quoting directly here, that their results challenge the long-held view that Alzheimer's disease is intrinsically irreversible. Now, I've been an APOE4 carrier my entire life. I've read hundreds of Alzheimer's studies now, and I've learned to be skeptical of headlines. But this one kind of hit differently. Because for the first time, we're seeing complete reversal of cognitive deficits in advanced Alzheimer's models, not just slowing, not stabilizing, but actual reversal. Before we get too excited, and trust me, I was very excited, there's something critical you need to know. Something the researchers themselves warned about that most headlines completely ignored. And it has to do with those NAD+ supplements you might already be taking. So here's what we're covering today. What NAD+ actually is, why it matters specifically for APOE4 carriers, what this breakthrough study found, and why the researchers issued a stark warning about over-the-counter supplements, and most importantly, what you can actually do about this right now. Let's get into it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Kevin Tran. I'm a doctor of pharmacy and an APOE4 carrier. That puts me in the highest genetic risk category for late onset Alzheimer's. I started the Phoenix community because I refused to accept that my genetics were my destiny, and we now have hundreds of members, all APOE4 carriers, who are taking a proactive, science-backed approach to their brain health. So when research like this comes out, I don't just read the abstract. I dig into the full paper. I talk to other researchers because this isn't just academic, it's really personal. And I'm guessing if you're watching this, it's probably personal for you too. So let's start with the basics. NAD+ is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It's a coenzyme found in every cell of your body. Think of it as the fuel your cells need to perform virtually every critical function. NAD+ is essential for mitochondrial energy production, basically your cellular power plants, DNA repairs, fixing damages that accumulates with age, activating sirtuins, which are proteins that regulate aging and inflammation, and maintaining healthy cellular metabolism. But here is the problem. NAD+ levels decline as we age, dramatically. By some estimates, you lose 50% of your NAD+ between ages 40 to 60. That's a lot. And this new research shows something even more alarming for Alzheimer's. NAD+ levels decline 30% at 6 months and 45% by 1 year in Alzheimer's mouse models. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. There's a fascinating population that researchers have been studying for years called NDAN, which are the non-demented with Alzheimer's neuropathology. These are the people who, when their brains are examined after death, have all the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. Basically, they have the amyloid plaques, the tau tangles, the whole pathology. But during their lives, they showed no cognitive symptoms. They remained sharp until the end. So how is that possible? Well, this December 2025 study suggests one key answer: NAD+ levels. The researchers found that people who remain cognitively intact despite having Alzheimer's pathology have preserved those NAD+ levels over years. NAD+ appears to be as a resilient factor protecting cognitive function even when the disease pathology is present. This is huge for us as APOE4 carriers. It suggests that maintaining NAD+ homeostasis might be one of the keys to preserving our cognition, even if we develop some degrees of Alzheimer's pathology. So let me walk you through what this study actually found. The research published in Cell Reports Medicine on December 22nd, 2025 was led by teams at Case Western Reserve University and university hospitals. They used a compound called P7C3A20, which works by activating an enzyme called NAMPT, and which is the rate-limiting enzyme and in what's called the NAD+ salvage pathways. Basically, it's the bottleneck for how your body recycles and produces NAD+. And here's what they discovered. First, in mice with advanced Alzheimer's disease, so we're not talking about early stage, but advanced disease, treatment with P7C3A20 fully reversed cognitive deficits. The mice returned to normal cognitive function. Second, the treatment reversed multiple disease processes: tau phosphorylation, blood-brain barrier deterioration, oxidative stress, DNA damage, and neuroinflammation. And third, and this is critical for translation to us humans, they found that 46 proteins that were abnormally expressed in the Alzheimer's mouse brains and normalized by treatment show similar alteration in human Alzheimer's brain. So this suggests the findings might actually translate to human. So just some warning, right? If you are looking at a mouse brain, we have already solved Alzheimer's in multiple cases. So those are mouse models. They are not completely one-for-one with human models, but these are very encouraging. I just don't want to give you false hope on the fact that if it works on mouse, it will work on us, because that's not necessarily the case. Now, here's the part that most people reporting on this study completely missed. And it's perhaps the most important part for anyone already taking NAD plus precursor like NMN or NR, basically people like me. The study authors issued a direct warning. I'm going to quote Dr. Piper, one of the lead researchers, directly. Currently, over-the-counter NAD plus precursor have been shown in animal models to raise cellular NAD plus to dangerously high levels that promote cancer. Let me repeat that, dangerously high levels that promote cancer. So the researchers emphasize that their approach with P7C3A20 is fundamentally different because it enables cells to maintain their proper balance of NAD plus under conditions of otherwise overwhelming stress. So without elevating NAD plus to supraphysiologic levels, which NMN and NR actually do. So this is a critical distinction. P7C3A20 activates NAMPT, allowing cells to produce NAD plus as needed. OTC precursors like NMN and NR bypass this regulation entirely, potentially flooding cells with more NAD plus than they can safely handle, and that produces cancer down the road. All right, I want to actually be balanced here, right? There are some human clinical trials showing potential benefits of NR for Alzheimer's biomarkers. One study showed that 8 weeks of NR treatment significantly reduced p-tau217 concentration, which is a key Alzheimer's biomarker, compared to placebo. So the between group difference was statistically significant, with NR showing a 7% reduction while placebo showed an 18% increase. But the long-term safety data simply doesn't exist yet. If you're currently taking NMN or NR, I am not saying, to stop immediately. I'm saying maybe talk to your doctor, show him or her that paper, be aware of this warning, and consider whether the potential risks are worth it given what we now know. But here's the good news. While we wait for compounds like P7C3A20 to potentially become available for human use, there are evidence-based ways to support your NAD plus levels naturally, and these methods don't carry the same theoretical risk as megadosing precursors. The number one is exercise. We have a lot of other videos about exercising, and one of the many benefits is that both aerobic training and resistance training increase NAMPT expression, and that's the same enzyme, P7C3A20 targets. So research shows that NAMPT levels remain positively associated with lean body mass and VO2 max. This is another reason why exercise is arguably the most powerful intervention we have for brain health, and it's hitting the same pathway. Aim for both zone 2 cardio. We have another video on zone 2 cardio. That's where you can still hold the conversation, and regular strength training. Building and maintaining muscle mass appears to be directly correlated to NAD plus production capacity. Number 2 is fasting and time-restricted eating. Caloric restriction and intermittent fasting activate AMPK and upregulate NAMPT. This is one of the reasons fasting has shown benefit for cognitive function and cellular health in many studies. Even a 16-8 windows, which is basically that you eat within an 8-hour window and fast for 16 hours, can activate those pathways. Number 3, consider a ketogenic diet. We have another video on ketogenic diet on this channel, and this is particularly relevant for us as APOE4 carriers. So Nick Norwitz, a Harvard-trained researcher who is himself an APOE4 carrier and a member of the Phoenix Committee, has published peer-reviewed research on precision nutrition for Alzheimer's prevention. He and his parents carry APOE4, so this research is also deeply personal for him. His published work suggests that ketogenic diets may be among the most powerful dietary strategies for APOE4 carriers specifically. And here's why. Ketones boost NAD+ through the AMPK NAMPT pathway, and on top of that, they bypass the glucose hypometabolism that's characteristic of APOE4 brains. So it's hitting the problem from 2 different directions. If you're going to try this approach, aim for nutritional ketosis with blood ketones above 1 millimoles per liter. This typically requires keeping carbohydrates under 20 to 30 grams per day unless you exercise very rigorously. Again, go to the other keto video that I have, because I explain in more details how to have that ketogenic diet. Another thing that most people overlook is that it's not just about making more NAD+, it's also about consuming less of it. Your body uses NAD+ to fight inflammation, repair oxidative damage, and fix DNA. If you are chronically inflamed, your NAD+ gets consumed faster than you can actually replenish it. So focus on a whole food, nutrient-dense diet, eliminate processed foods and seed oils, prioritize sleep, because poor sleep is massively inflammatory. And of course, manage stress. Priority number 2 is the natural CD38 inhibitors. So CD38 is an enzyme that breaks down NAD+. As we age, CD38 activity increases, contributing to that NAD+ decline that I mentioned earlier. But certain natural compounds can actually inhibit CD38. Quercetin, found in capers, red onion, kale, and broccoli, has been shown to inhibit CD38 activity. Apigenin, found in the chamomile tea, parsley, and herbs like thyme, oregano, and basil, also inhibits CD38. So consider making that chamomile tea as a regular habit or adding more of these foods to your diet. All right, cool. Let me summarize the key takeaways from everything we've covered. 1. This December 25 study represents a genuine breakthrough, showing reversal, not just prevention, of cognitive deficits in advanced Alzheimer's models by restoring NAD+ homeostasis. 2. NAD+ appear to function as a resilience factor. People who maintain cognitive function despite Alzheimer's pathology tend to have preserved NAD+ levels. 3. The study authors explicitly warns that OTC NAD+ precursors may raise levels to dangerous cancer-promoting heights. This is a serious caution that should not be ignored. 4. The compound used in the study, P7C3A20, works differently by activating NAMPT and maintaining homeostasis balance, but it's not yet available for human use. You can support your NAD+ levels naturally through exercise, fasting, keto diet, reducing inflammation, and consuming natural CD38 inhibitor. So here's what I want you to do this week, because you get tons of information from me, and I'm sure if you don't apply them, you'll be completely lost. So for this week, on Monday, I want you to evaluate your exercise routine. Are you getting both cardio and strength training? If not, add at least one session of each. Again, we have a video on cardio training. Tuesday, try time-restricted eating. Start with a 14-hour overnight fast and walk up to 16 hours. On Wednesday, I want you to audit your inflammation sources. What processed foods can you eliminate? On Thursday, stock up on quercetin-rich food like red onion, kale, broccoli, and make chamomile tea your evening drink, and frankly, it's quite delicious. On Friday, if you are taking NMN or NR, have a conversation with your doctor about the safety warnings and whether to continue or lower your doses. If you're an APOE4 carrier watching this, I want you to know you don't have to figure this out alone. That was my situation a year ago, and that's why I built the Phoenix community. And now we have hundreds of members. At the time of this video, more than 400 members who are tracking their biomarkers, running N=1 experiments, and sharing what's working. We have pods where you can connect with other APOE4 carriers on the same journey who are targeting the same thing every month, and they understand exactly what you are going through. Our blood work tracking modules helps you monitor inflammatory markers like hsCRP and metabolic markers like fasting glucose and insulin on values that are optimal for APOE4 carriers and not the general population. So the whole goal here is for you to see if these interventions are actually moving the needle, because you are tagging every day how you feel and what you are doing, and then we can correlate that with your blood biomarkers and your overall results. And the thing is, we're also tracking all the members who are experimenting with ketogenic protocols, fasting protocols, and various supplement stacks. And the long goal here is to be able to have people who are similar to you run these experiments all together and then get the insights on what's working for people like you. Because what's working for people like you is very likely to work for you as well. So instead of experimenting alone and spending 3 months on one intervention and then 3 months on another, why not group all our knowledge, track everything together, and then get the insight of, wow, 50 people have tried the ketogenic protocols, they have similar genetics as you, they live in the same place as you, and they have improved their cognition by 20%, for example. Then you are much more likely to try a ketogenic protocol because you see that it works for people similar to you. That's what we're building inside the community. So if you are looking for that, for people who are taking this as seriously as you do, people who have watched a parent decline and refuse to accept the same fate, we would love to have you with us. Link in the description. And you can see all the details on our website. Here's what I want to leave you with. For decades, the dogma has been that Alzheimer's is irreversible, that once cognitive decline starts, you can only slow down at best. This research suggests that it might not be true. And while we wait for treatment like P7C3A20 to potentially become available, we are not powerless. Every time you exercise, every time you fast, every time you reduce inflammation in your body, you are supporting the same pathway that showed such remarkable results in this study. You are giving your brain the NAD+, it needs to be resilient. As APOE4 carriers, we carry a higher burden of risk, but we also have the opportunity to be more proactive, more informed, and more intentional about our brain health than anyone else. That's what the Phoenix community is all about. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe if you want more APOE4 specific research breakdowns. I try to post twice a week, and drop the comment below telling me, are you currently taking NAD+? I'm very curious. Are you taking precursors like NMN or NR? Has this changed how you think about your approach? I'll read every single comment and reply whenever I can. Until next time, stay proactive. See you.